Pops, what's on your head? What's going on up there?
I'm broadcasting the college football game tonight. Go whoever the hell's playing.
And let's hand it off downfield to our sideline reporter, Kimberly Kline. Kimberly Kline's joining us.
Hey.
Hi,
Welcome,
guys.
Kimberly.
Thank you. Fun to be here. Great to be here.
So for those of you that have not been watching our live streams and whatnot, which it's A-okay if you haven't, Kimberly worked as a F&I manager for 15 years.
Yeah.
Which is like 45 years in human time.
Amen. Amen to that. That is
And Kimberly,
so true.
Yes.
Kimberly reached out and she said, "Hey, we like what I like what you guys are doing with your auto advocate. Zach, your dad's got a lot of knowledge. Knowledge is power. We all love it. Why don't you have someone else on to talk about the F&I office?" And my dad and I looked at each other and we said, "Yeah, please."
Yeah. Somebody that has real knowledge about the F&I office.
Exactly.
And experience.
Yeah. So, and I just love you guys. So I hope I can bring a little bit of knowledge from the finance office to everybody else. So
I'm sure you'll do a great job.
Why don't we start the first ever F&I focused video? Well, we've done some F&I focused videos, but now when people go and watch those, they're going to realize how you were just making stuff up. But that, we don't make it all up.
Yes.
Not all of it.
Kimberly, the question I want to ask for this video, and the title of the video will be something around why the heck does it take so long to get into the finance office, to get through the finance office? Like, what's going on in there, and why does it take so long? That is the question for today.
That's a great question because it is the chief number one complaint of when you go buy a car at a dealership. Why does it take so long, A, and B, why does it take so long to get into the finance office? So I think we'll take a look at that today. I'm going to start off by saying the first thing that you think about whenever you go to purchase a car is, let's call it the front, and finance will be the back. And I only say that.
Makes sense to me.
Yep.
I only say that because finance is behind closed doors typically. So the front, you have to think about the time that you take to purchase a car. You need to test drive the car. Your salesperson wants to, meet and greet you, go get the car, make sure everything's good for you. And then, of course, you have to agree on numbers, and that takes some time too. So usually, by the time you're done all of that, you're tired, and you just want to get the car, and you just want to drive away. But guess what? We have a whole nother process to go through. So welcome to the back, where you're where you're going to go behind some closed doors and sign some paperwork. Sounds easy enough, but there's a lot that goes into it, and that's what takes so long. And I thought we could touch on some points as to what exactly we're doing back there that might, take some time.
Well, I know from once the customer says yes, the salesperson has to gather up so many documents that you're going to require in the back to be able to finalize the transaction for the customer. Can you review some of those documents that you absolutely need by law?
Wait, one second.
Oh, excuse me.
If you get so good at teeing up the questions, I'm going to be out of a job soon. Just FYI. So don't do that so good next time. Botch it a little bit. The kid's going to be out of a job.
Did you ever hear that? You're too good, Ray. It's too good.
Yeah, I just teed you up too good. We don't need Zach, so it'll be Kimberly and Ray shortly. Yeah. There are any number of documents that you need in the back that the salespeople are supposed to provide to you so that you can do your job. Can you review what some of those documents are that you need back there so you can do your work?
Yeah, absolutely. So to get everything started for you, the customer, I need a copy of your most updated insurance card because I'm going to be plugging all this stuff in. All this data has to come back to me from my sales manager so that I can start plugging everything in. The finance manager has a myriad of different computer programs that we are using in tandem at any time. So all that stuff initially, driver's license copies, insurance information, credit application, they all need to be gathered up front. They come back to the finance manager and boom, we're off and running.
One of the things that my finance managers would always say to me is, well, I need the exact miles on the car. Where's the miles? Why didn't you send the miles back? Yeah, that was usually either the salesperson forgot or as the manager, I forgot to double check.
Yeah, because as a sales manager, you need to double check generally before it comes back. So all this process is being double and triple checked.
Yes.
So am I remiss in saying part of the reason it takes so long is there's a lot of information that needs to change hands. It needs to go from that front end to the back end. Is that a fair assessment?
I would say it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely
Okay.
a fair assessment.
Got it. So getting the data across, that's one part that makes it take a long time. Why then does it take such a long time filling out all the paperwork in the actual F&I office? Like, I remember when we bought my car, Dad, and my old Volvo, and you went with me, and it was still a multi-hour experience, and you pretty much made it as seamless as possible. We were still sitting in that F&I office, and I walked out of there with not a binder, but like a giant packet of paperwork. Is it simply a matter of like there's just so many signatures that need to be had? And do they all need to be like ink signatures? Like, why do I even have to be there? I guess is kind of what goes through my head.
That's a good question. Yes, they do have to be wet signatures, is what we call them, ink signatures or wet signatures. But after we gather all that information and then we plug it all into the computer system, we do what we call pulling paper. So this means that I'm going to find out what state you live from. Are you getting new tags? Or are you transferring your tags? There's paperwork for every state. So a finance manager is going to know what paper needs to be pulled. And then today, many transactions are done via iPad or computer clicking, going through a computerized system, but there's still physical paper that needs to have a wet signature on it. So I got to pull all my paper and get everything ready.
What's like a quick turnaround in the F&I office versus a long turnaround? Like, have you ever had someone in and out in under 60 minutes? Have you ever had someone take multiple days?
Both, yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So ideally, a customer comes in, falls in love with the car, agrees on the numbers, everything comes back to me through a flow through the sales manager, salesperson, sales manager, finance. I get everything plugged in. I call my customer back, go over everything that I need to go over, aka disclosure. That's a big word, and I think we should talk about it here in a minute, but get everything explained. Yeah, to the customer, signed up, tags, registration, here you go, have a great day, thank you very much. That, if done properly, should take, in the finance office, once you get back to me, 30 to 35 minutes. Done.
But I'm like sitting here and I know all the comments are going to be like, that's bullshit. It took me 3.5 hours.
Sure.
You know, but it's interesting, like literally sitting here as the third party to a seasoned F&I manager and a seasoned sales manager. It's like all you guys ever probably wanted was like the ones that just flowed right through. And it's like, I imagine a needle in a haystack. It doesn't happen all the time.
Well, you would love for the customer to understand what they're about to sign before they ever get there because they've done it before. But part of Kimberly's job or any good finance manager's job is to explain every document that the customer is about to sign and why they need to sign it. And if it's the first time you're buying a car, that takes a little bit of time. And then you have an obligation to review protection products that are available and other products that are available to a customer, because if you don't at least make the customer aware of it and have them sign a form that they were made aware of it, if somewhere down the line something happened and they said, well, I would have bought tire and wheel protection if they would have offered it to me, but nobody offered it to me. That's why you have to go over all that stuff, because you have to make the customer aware of what's available and give them the opportunity to say yes or no. And depending upon that customer's knowledge, that can take time.
Absolutely. So 100% of the customers get full disclosure in the finance office 100% of the time. So that so that you don't pull off of our dealership lot, somebody smashes into you, your car gets totaled, and then you come back to us and say, well, you never told me about gap coverage. So there's a piece of paper for everything. Okay, there's a piece of paper for everything. But let's take a step back for a minute because Mr. Customer wants to finance. So if you go to a bank to get a loan, how long does that generally take?
I mean, it's going to take some time to fill out the paperwork and get a loan.
Yeah. And Kimberly has to submit the application to the bank and the terms that they're looking for. Yeah, that takes time.
Exactly. So you got to think I need to put a loan together, and that takes time.
You can't just snap your fingers and have a loan approval. And actually, you just asking that question, which I guess was a little bit rhetorical, but like it actually resonated with me in the sense that seriously, if I went to Bank of America right now and tried to get a loan for my car, it's probably going to take a couple hours. Versus the fact that if I'm doing financing through a dealership, it's still going to probably potentially take a couple hours. But that actually might be quicker than if I went to the bank myself and tried to fight through the line and whatnot and do it. So, point taken.
Yeah, right. So the dealership has the ability to connect with all the different lenders and the resources that are available, but not just that, to do it like that.
And I definitely want to do a separate video where we talk about either Dealer Track or Route 1 and, because I think those are the two major ones in the space, and maybe you can shed some light, pull the curtain back a little bit about how those systems work. But we'll definitely have to say that because that'll be a long one, a good one.
That'll be a big one, yeah, for sure. So your finance manager is putting together a loan for you. Well, Mr. Customer says, I want to pay cash, so I should be able to get in and out super, super fast. But part two to that is I'm pulling paper for you, and every state has different laws and regulations that I have to follow to a T, so I need to know what state you're in, all these things. I'm stuttering all over myself right now.
You're A-okay.
All these things.
Yeah,
I need to know all these things. Lots of things I need to know.
Your Auto Advocate, the musical.
Yes.
I need jazz hands. All these things I gotta know. I'm having flashbacks. But let's see. So I'm gonna put together a loan. I'm gonna stick to my state and federal regulations. And that, like I said, there's a piece of paper for everything.
Yep.
Then I'm going to pull titling and registration. Most dealerships, if you're buying in that state, can do hard plates for you. Mm-hmm. If not, we can transfer for you. There's a computer program for that too. So there's a lot there that needs to be put together, and we haven't even gotten to the menu process yet.
So let's put a bow on today's episode in the sense that the reason it takes so long to get into the finance office is a lot of data has to get transferred. The reason it takes so long in the finance office is because there's a piece of paper to cover the dealership's took us in every single case. Took us, Yiddish word.
Yeah, that was very
in
nice.
Every single case.
Yeah. Took us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And over the next few weeks and months that Kimberly's a part of Your Auto Advocate, what we're going to do is we're going to break down each and every thing that we just discussed. So menu selling came up, going deeper into disclosures, what happens when we're, I'm going to say it, but like shotgunning out, a credit app to get multiple different rates back in, how you're working the lines with the banks. Like we're going to dive into each of those in subsequent episodes. Stay tuned, because they're going to be dropping, I think 2 or 3 a week. So Kimberly, welcome to Your Auto Advocate. Everyone down below, welcome Kimberly to Your Auto Advocate. And hopefully, my hope, Kimberly, is that just like my father had knowledge is power, and if it's taxable, it's negotiable, we can come up with some sort of keyword or a phrase for the F&I office so that then when folks are buying their cars and they end up in the F&I office, they can start wearing their T-shirt. We got to figure out what it is, but that's my goal here. That's my goal.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll come up with something.
We will.
Yeah.